Our bodies are nothing but clay. And so, although people leave this earthly life, we know that the spirit will endure. Big man's spirit will endure. And all of our other beloved ancestors. And so, we like to take the time to bring those spirits in here with us. And what I'm going to have you all do is call out some names of some beloved brothers and sisters, mamas and babas, children, freedom fighters, and inspirers in your life who are near and dear to you. Can we do that? Can we call out some names? Can I start with my elder, Bobby Seal? Call out the name of our beloved ancestors. While he's thinking, I'm going to call out Huey P. Newton. Can we say Ashe? Ashe. Bobby Hutton. Ashe. 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 Geronimo G. Johnson. Ashe. Peaches from LA. Ashe. Call them out, brothers. Ashe. Kilu and Yasha. Ashe. Ashe. Malcolm X. Ashe. 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 Brothers and sisters, may we keep these ancestors' spirit with us all the time. Now I need you to do one more thing. I need you all to stand up. And I want you to turn to the person next to you and the person on your row and give them a hug and tell them thank you for being a survivor and a thriver in this wicked system. Give each other a hug, brothers and sisters. Give each other a hug, brothers and sisters. A survivor and a thriver. Give each other a hug, brothers and sisters. Ashe, Ashe. Bring those spirits in here with us. Bring those spirits in here with us. Mama Lloyd, Mama Dr. Lloyd, Ashe. Ashe. Give each other a hug. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Ashe.
Oh, so wonderful, so beautiful to gather here today in memory, in honor, in celebration of a warrior, a true warrior, with a true warrior organization, the Black Panther Party for self-defense. People like to leave off self-defense. But as always, as our ancestors, the Moors who invented the game of chess, taught us black folks move second, we are usually in defense. And Brother Big Man and the Black Panther Party did something that shamed the entire United States government. It fed the black community. When the government said that it was not able to do so, did not have the funds to do so, the Black Panther Party in self-defense, and as we heard Brother Big Man said, oh yeah, watch this, and fed the black community, shamed the entire United States government. And at that point, the government made the Black Panther Party in self-defense enemy number one in America. And to this day, we have free lunch, free breakfast programs in the school, thanks to the Black Panther Party for self-defense. All children get to eat. Mambo, 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 Kakilambe is a healing song, because we are still in need of healing today. Even more so because most folks don't know we are still at war. Back in the day, the Black Panther Party fed the community with pennies, and we did that. Today, the black community in just this country alone has over $2 trillion of spending power. Out of the 194 countries on the planet, 195, thinking what war, what day is going on, 194 countries, black Americans spending power, we rank 11th as a global economy. 11th. Where's that money going? We got to seize the time, take black our minds, educate, deliberate, participate, and strive. Black power, for black power, for black power. Got to seize the time, take black our minds, educate, deliberate, participate, and strive for black power, self-determination. Back in the 60s, our destiny was to live black love and love black unity. The Panthers, Elbert, Huey, Stewie, Panthers all together. Back in the 60s, take it back to the 60s, when unity and liberation were priorities to protect, to serve, to educate the black community. For black power, self-determination, Pan-African organization. Back in the 60s, our destiny was to live black love. Check that out. Live black love and love black unity. Back in the 60s, our destiny was to live black love and love black unity. From Marcus, Martin, Huey, Stokely, Carmen, Jason, Cooey, afros, bow ties, boots, dashikis, kente cloth, and Black Panther legacies gave power to the people. Black in the 60s. America the bully retaliated, incarcerated countless black and brown lives, innocents of millions criminalized, millions of innocents criminalized by COINTELPRO and the FBI. The CIA killed democracy worldwide. The entire black community radicalized by Christianity. The entire black community terrorized by white psychopathy. Consumerism flipped the script. Now most just want to get rich or die trying. We're trying to be big money mercenaries rather than black revolutionaries. Trying to be designer mercenaries rather than black revolutionaries. But we are dying either way. Because America wants money, not militants. Capitalism needs consumers, not critics. America wants us to be its bitch, financing the myth of white supremacy. America wants us to submit, spend big money, shut up and forget. Forget about the 60s. Forget about reparations, black unity. America wants us to forget that African American spending power is a $2 trillion economy. We already have everything we need to achieve black power and prosperity. See, what we need is to take our minds black. Because when you take our minds black, we take our money black. When you take your mind black, you take your money black. Black as Mansa Musa's Mali. Black as Africa in the 60s. Black as the Panthers in the 60s. Living black love and loving black unity for black power and prosperity. Gotta seize the time, take black our minds, educate and liberate, participate and strive for black power, black power, black power. Like big man, black power, seize the time, take black our minds, educate and liberate, participate and strive for black power. What? Black power. 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 Black power.
All right, that was very powerful. I would like to thank Fabian for that. She's a sister who's donated her services to the legacy of the Black Panther Party as far back as I remember. I remember 20 years ago, in 1998, when we first started giving Bobby Hutton days, she performed for us at that time, and she tore it up like she did then, like she did now. Now, I'd like to bring up another sister, another poet. Her name is Vacha. She's an old-time part of the struggle. If you look back in the early issues of the Black Panther Party newspaper, like Volume 1, you can see some portraits she did for the Black Panther Party back in 1968. And I'd like to bring to you this bad community sister, Vacha.
I want to thank everybody who came out here to support the legacy of Big Man. You know, there are certain people who don't think this age things happen to us against us. Come on. There is nothing to ask any Native American. Ask the black people who had their children stolen in the South and put in these strange church schools, supposedly so they could teach them to be real Americans. I know we can. We have been here before. I say, we have been here before. We sang in the face of the Klan and danced with feet all bloody on the decks of slave ships, on the longest walk, on freedom marches and jail cells and concentration camps, ghettos that we're supposed to call home. We know this place. The concrete jungles, the reservations, are cursed of and by the uncivilized who have forgotten the healing grass and trees, with mayhem, bloodlust, with festivals of freedom. She just has something. We have fertilized people with water. We have been. I know we can. I don't know it, brother, for giving us all he gave us and bringing us into the world. Thank you.
It was big nerves and like to bring
a reason for coming. Give a shout out to Rob, Ali. I love you all. Who have had him lecture in his class. Hey, for some big yellow, big man.
Thank you.
Overwhelmed, very overprotective, and I still didn't know the 35th anniversary. He was my dad. Road trip came from him. Proud, very, very. Elbert, but they're from Atlanta, Tennessee. Originally from Tennessee, I'm from Maryland. Back there, but everyone enjoy.
Washington, D.C. We're glad to have her out open. I believe we're going to sing us a song. I heard her sing on the telephone and said, yeah, I want you. I want you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Brown was Sister Francis, one of the youngest Black Panther members. First, I just want you to stay encouraged, keep your head up. Losing someone is never an easy thing to go through, you know. And through one. It's never an easy thing to go through. I'm actually going through one right now myself. So losing your father, my father is my best friend. So I can't even, bear the pain that you're feeling right now. And to everybody else in the Black Panther, man, just keep your head up. Why should I feel? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus, a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know because and I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow.
The editor of the powerful black spokesperson, still in everyone. To meet Bobby Seale in their he carried the program the party from Bobby Seale, brought it back to organization, and he
national put me on the network. He fixed it and feed. I get to a lot of confusion, and I would say, you have no thing or this Koreans inherited American it was. We were invited to it was who spoke for the side street, the 5 do different things, came beating heads, and some people come with the
person to Wall part down in Mississippi a long time. He first got Big Man to come in Memphis for another week, drinking how I was for the next Bobby Hutton Day. So he started working with the legacy. Now, I brought this brother.
Thank you all to be here, everybody here in Mississippi. I met Big Man. He started to explain to me how little a person's Black Panther Party in the newspaper, and so I had the opportunity to live it the way I understood. I learned a lot of this through interviews that we did, Big Man and I did. And it turned out that these interviews were so good that the publisher the guy who wanted to publish my book, asked me if I would ask Big Man to do the foreword for the book. And if you know anything about academia, and especially historians, they don't like you to be too close to your sources. Like, you have to be objective, right? And having a member of the Black Panther Party write the foreword on the history of the Black Panther against that particular grant. That's right. Because it would have been useful for everybody, writers or academics. And so from here to Europe, white, Asian, that legacy of that's the legacy that has been left behind. We're all human beings, and he left. It costs a lot of money to put on. So it costs a lot of money to wrap up, to donate to his final arrangements, which that's fine. If you want to donate, as you give it in love to support the final arrangements of donations for him.
Question, is Emory in the house? Emory, I send my love to you, brother. Everybody, Tanzania, He went to visit Pete and Charlotte O'Neill in Tanzania, and on the flight back to San Francisco, to his seat as he was the last 2 days. I got an email from him last night. He said he had hurt his leg when he fell, but he's going to try to get his son. So I put a shout out for him. He might be on the way. One other here. All right. We're going to have you up in a second. I'd like to bring up Sister Erica Huggins real quick.
I wanted to share with you that time in my life. Against Bobby Seale and I had just been, she knows this because that trial was one of the most, and so when the charges against to the sun like that out there, that I never got to see. And there was Big Man at the door. And he never postured about how big he was, and how powerful he was. Because I knew that was her daddy. And held me as we walked out. It was all people who were so happy that Bobby and I had been relieved of that. But what you need to know is that Bobby didn't walk out that day. He was remanded to Chicago, where he stood yet another infamous, horrible trial, where he was back. And Big Man just walked. He didn't ask anybody to. The crowd parted. So held, so loved. Bigger than our little heart thinking. I have never, ever, ever forgotten that day. And so as a result of that day, although born in January, man, I'm saying right now, the only other thing that I want to say is that when you're feeling really proud and you're posturing and you feel that it's important for you to acknowledge how much of a man or a woman are that way in my life.
I'd like to keep the program going. Is Dr. Small in the house? First, where you at? This is the people's doctor. He ran the George Jefferson Medical Clinic. He was a doctor to all the Panthers.
First, I'd like to have a moment of silence for the 28 Panther warriors who were murdered by the fascists in this country. We also would like to have a moment of mourning. He wanted me to tell you that the White House is full of flush that. He wanted everyone to. He told me that he wanted everyone to say this: to hell with the liar in chief. To hell with the thief in chief. To hell with the molester in chief. To hell with the race. Go back to hell where he belongs. The American people will have the last laugh at the clown in chief. You know, Big Man would not want us to be crying over him. He would not want us to feel sorry. He would want us to celebrate his life. He would tell us, don't cry for me. And I have a poem which I'm going to read for Big Man. It's called Weep Not For Me. Weep not for me. If I die, let me go swiftly through the night. Let there be no wailing at the gates. Let there be no gnashing of teeth. Let there be no weeping of hearts. Weep not for me. I have fought the good life. Weep for yourself. You who refuse to fight. Weep for yourself. You have died before you were born. Let the fools who have wasted their lives weep for themselves. I've lived my life to the fullest. Weep not for me. Don't cry over my death. Cry over your life. Cry over your refusal to live. Weep not for big man, but weep for yourself. If I die, let me go swiftly through the night. Let there be no weeping of hearts. Everyone, let there be no weeping of hearts. Let there be no weeping of hearts. I wrote a eulogy for Big Man. Do I have time to read it? Like George Jackson, Fred Hampton, Doc Satchel, Tarika Lewis, Kathleen Cleaver, Bobby Seale, and Erica Huggins, Big Man was a real Panther. He was not a gangster Panther, crazy Panther, or paper Panther. He spent his entire adult life serving the needs of all people. He was the fix-it for the Black Panther Party, organizing his first newspaper and going to Connecticut to organize support for the imprisoned Bobby Seale. He ran a program at the Old Merritt College to help ex-cons get into college. When Bobby wanted anything done on party business, he would send Big Man. Big Man worked on creating the international section of the Black Panther Party and became its international spokesperson. He even went to Japan on party business with Roberto Alexander. The FBI followed him daily. Many years later, while he was a manager in Kmart, Tennessee, they gave him his FBI files. I first met Big Man in 1970 when I started working with the Black Panther Party. Ironically, the FBI knew with the Black Panther Party before mostly if he wanted some joy in his life. Who kept him alive, Carol Hines. Big Man was very impressive, even among Panthers. He always stood out. He was one of the leaders who is still admired by the rank-and-file Panthers. In 1974, I hooked up with Big Man in Memphis, Tennessee, a town 30 miles from the shack that I was born in Coldwater, Mississippi. Big Man was very involved in a local interview by the local African-American newspaper in Memphis. He also introduced me to a great soul wrestler that I visit whenever I am in Memphis. In 2005, a year later, Big Man relocated to California. Big Man loved his wife, Carol Hyman's daughter, grandsons, stepdaughter. As we celebrate Big Man's life, let the thunder roll out, let the sky fall down, let the earth shake, for a good man has died. Big Man's spirit will live as long as one of us carries on the fight for health care for all, for good education for all, and the end of racism and imperialism. Big Man's spirit will survive as long as we continue to serve all the people. Long live the fighting spirit of Big Man. Power will rest in his legend. As long as the struggle continues, his spirit will not rest. Power will rest in his legend. As long as the struggle continues, the spirit will not rest. I called Big Man the dead black Spartan. The Spartans had a tradition. When they went to war, the mothers would tell their children, "I'd rather see you come back on your shield than leave your shield behind." Big Man never left his shield behind. And before I read this poem, The Dead Black Spartan, I'm going to really put us all on a 3-minute chain. I'd like to close with this tribute to our comrade, Big Man. To the dead black Spartan, to Big Man, our black Spartan. Hail to thee, O fleeting star, dazzle the world of thy long journey, exploding with vigor, sharp and jubilant, sieging the ramparts with fiery revolution, scourge of the oppressor, wisest of all in council, untainted in spirit, sing out in the shrillest and sweetest sounds. Fidel, Cabral, amidst anarchy, walled and doomed, bright as all of our hopes, our desires, purest of all, stone-wheeled bastard, Never tempted by self nor wealth, to thee we bow. Lovers not, yet comrades in battle. Nevermore shall we mourn thee. Let not death defeat us. Your heart shall pump within us, and through us you will triumph. Ever onward, black warrior, ever onward. Heed not death knocking at your door. 'Tis but an echo of tomorrow's journey. Spur thy great steed onward, across the dregs and over the mire. Sing out in the shrillest songs, Vinceremus, Patria Muerte. Ride on across the misty forest into the fiery sea. Nevermore the gale permits us. Ride on with thy splendid steed. We shall not mourn thy passing. Death will not defeat us. Your heart shall pump with us, and through us you will triumph. Turn out the lamps and wail through the as bleeding sorrow drenches our bones to dim our spirit in that doomed box. So thy minions gather, woe-wrecked with groaning grief. Listen, perhaps they hear the echo of thy passing. Thundering hooves prancing through the suburbs. Misty riders shrouded in victory. Fools who forever burn. Do they not know? Through their lives still you might yet live. Nevermore shall we mourn thee. Death shall not defeat us. Your heart shall pump within us, and through us you shall triumph. Hail to thee, black Spartan. Cast your mold of fire rebellion. Forge the new man, molded in love, cast in iron, to crack the chains of tyranny. For you, friend of friends, life's worth dying. Though dying, ride on, right through the decay of those who fear to live. Rage furiously towards thy tragic end. Yes, comrade of comrades, embrace death of a kiss. Sparkling eyes now still, weep a tear for us. Yes, weep for us who perish, for in death you triumph as in life. Your heart pumps with us, and within our children unborn. Everybody, your heart pumps with us, you too, Bobby, and with our children unborn. You know, big man would say, this day is a good day to die. Long live the fighting spirit of big man.